So on the question on mask, actually the main change had happened earlier when we updated our advice on mask based on the latest findings and medical advice or scientific evidence, right? And there were two reasons for this, as we have already explained. Number one, the evidence or the finding that people without symptoms or with very mild symptoms could be spreading the virus. So the earlier advice was you wear mask to protect others, right? To keep your droplets to yourself, especially when you are sick. But if you can spread the virus, even if you don't have symptoms, then you may not know whether you are sick or not sick, but you may inadvertently be spreading the virus. So that was one key reason why we changed our advisory earlier. The second reason was, as we said, there are already some indicators that the indications that the virus was circulating in our community, and there were more undetected cases within our community, which was a cause for concern. And therefore, we had already changed our advisory earlier to recommend the wearing of mask, particularly when you go out and you cannot avoid close contacts. And indeed, over the last weeks or so, recent days, you are seeing more people wearing masks. What we are doing now is a next further step. Same reason, same findings, but a next further step just to make it mandatory and to take that extra protection and precautions so that anyone going out, right, in any setting, wear a mask. And I think that will be an extra precaution worth taking for all of us. On the second point, on essential services, we have been quite, as I said, when we started out with the circuit breaker, quite mindful of wanting to ensure there was no disruption to our own essential services for daily living, our supply chains, particularly since in Singapore we import so many things that we need for daily living, our food, daily essentials, and then of course there are other areas like healthcare, clearly an essential service. You want that to continue. You've got things like energy, water, waste, utilities, all of these need to continue. And then food and beverage, we still need to eat, so F&B must continue. But in each of these categories, we kept these categories and we allowed them to continue. But now, having cleared all the appeals from companies that said they wanted to continue, we've cleared the appeals. We are going through all of the existing categories of work that are deemed essential, and we are going through, as I said, step by step to see which ones can be cut further. We are already not doing badly to be able to reduce the workforce that's still continuing to work, right? Not the telecommuting ones, the ones that are still out and about every day, to 20%. We want to go further than that so that we can further reduce the number of people who are out and about and minimize movement to as much as we can.
Let me maybe just take this opportunity to remind all of us that in addition to wearing the mask, personal hygiene is still very important. So I would continue to encourage Singaporeans to wash their hands, observe personal hygiene, and which is a very critical factor in disrupting the transmission chain. And this is particularly important during this period of enhanced safe distancing, and that is why we have also enhanced our advisory on masks and now making it mandatory when you go out, because we want to do everything we can to reduce the risk of transmission so as to keep our number of cases to as low as possible. And this is in line with our strategy of this enhanced safe distancing approach over the next few weeks.
Can I make one quick point? Just when Minister Gan said this, I remembered something. Please do not use this mask wearing requirement now to say, okay, I can go out. Right? I wear a mask and it's okay to go out, because in fact, you should not go out as much as possible. Just stay at home. Do all the right things, practice good hand hygiene, and stay at home as much as possible. And if you're staying at home, you do not need to wear a mask. But in the rare occasion that you do need to go out, for purchase of your groceries or purchase of essentials, then it's only at that time that you wear a mask.